It's been sent.
Here it is. It's nice Sunday, officially afternoon because it is afternoon. It's 12:05.
Afternoon. Yep.
We're here. This is ArachNerds episode 21. We are just cruising.
Making.
Phil is killing it on the scheduling front, making my job real easy.
Yeah.
This episode, as always, is brought to you by Fulvius Apparel, fulviusapparel.com. A couple more days left. Let me pull up my calendar. And the Tisney season sale, buy two, get one free site-wide, officially ends next Wednesday. So you've still got a solid bit of time to get you some shirts. At this point, you probably won't get them before Christmas if you're buying for someone else, just so you know. I'm going to be in the office Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm out of work from the 24th, and I don't go back till the 5th. So,
jeez, must be nice.
We got a long break. There's a good chance I'll probably pop in there at some point in the middle of that, just to, keep some stuff running through the printers to make sure they're not sitting for too long. But I'm sure I'll have some orders and stuff as well that I might go ahead and crank out depending on if I have the blanks on hand or not. But regardless, buy two, get one free site-wide, fulviusapparel.com. Check it out. Just added some new shirts recently with the scrub shirt and the Spermatheca shirt that is a personal favorite at this point. And I think it's sold a couple, not a lot, but
yeah, I'm gonna pick one of those up next time I make an order. Just to, I think it's really diverse. It's a very wholesome shirt.
It is.
If you know, you know what I mean.
My child, I was wearing one around the house the other day, and my child's like, "What are those?" So I'm like, "Nothing." Spiders.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it, kid. One day.
If you don't know, you don't know. It's okay.
It's one of those.
They're aliens. I don't know what else to explain it. What do you? Mushrooms?
I don't know. I told my girlfriend, and she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "All of those?" And I was like, "Yeah, all those. Like, that's what they are."
I told my wife, and that she would just like no reaction. She's like, "Oh, okay." Like, of course it is. Like,
yeah, no, it's just par for the course at this time,
But it says celebrate diversity, and then it's got a bunch of different Spermatheca of different species, which I purposefully did not list the species because I was like, maybe some people could pick them out in a lineup. Some of them maybe, some of them not.
Devin, I bet you Devin could.
Probably. But
Andy, dude, man's a wizard.
That's become one of my new favorite hobbies is whipping out that microscope and looking through molts and stuff. There's just something so... It's like model trains. It's just calming. Can be
really
extremely
sprinkles your donuts.
Really frustrating at the same time. Like when I have like that Vietnam silver molt that I had recently, that I was like, I can make this happen. And then as I went, it just got worse and worse. It just crumbled. It just fell apart. I was like, damn it. So
yeah, that'll do.
Get them next time.
It'll sometimes it be like that.
Yeah.
My Vietnam silver doesn't even throw her molts. She just kind of like keeps them.
This one was sitting like right at the top of the burrow, so I was like, okay, let me go ahead and grab it. The other one I can see it, but because it's like angled in, I can't quite get it without having to like really move because I sort of, when I set up my burrowers, usually I take a piece of cork bark and I like core it in the dirt. So I basically put it in the middle and then put dirt around that. And so instead of having to like shift and move that and potentially, screw something up with the spider,
it's not worth it.
That's my bigger concern is like that I'm going to, pull that cork or something and the spider's going to be in a weird spot where I can't see it and it's going to get, hurt or something. So I'll get it when I get it. It's not that big of a deal. They're also so small that the likelihood of me screwing up those molts is pretty high. So whatever. But yes, if you ordered during this buy two, get one free sale, you also are getting entered into win the Carhartt backpack. Doesn't matter. It's not like a one-time thing. If you ordered multiple orders, so like Phil had ordered some stuff, if you each order you get a ticket. So if you place multiple orders, you're getting multiple entries into that giveaway. So keep that in mind. Check it out, fulviusapparel.com.
Don't forget the Underdark giveaway as well. If
yes.
You're in Tarantula Addicts, if you're in the Discord,
which you should be.
You should be, yeah. Everyone should be in that Discord, learning.
Way better than Facebook groups. Awesome people. Awesome community.
Cool World Spider catalog bot, qualified
Yeah.
advice, ton of goofy stickers of Smitty. It's really good stuff.
All the best parts of Facebook groups and pretty much none of the bullshit.
Yeah. Yep.
And you can join it by going to discord.gg/TA.
It's over yonder.
It's opposite. So it's right here above my head if you see it, or it's in the description of the show notes here. So, Keller's complaining y'all didn't want to tell anyone y'all were doing this live. Still searching for that male Bambus. Yes.
Not sure if they exist.
Not sure if they exist. That one that Dritz had may be the only one. Like, what if
I've not heard of another one.
The only one? What if that was like the Children of Men, like Clive Owen thing, where he's like the only one?
I'd be a monkey's uncle. That's what I'll tell you.
Crazy, but
yeah.
Keller, I don't know. I thought we did. We didn't. We didn't tell anybody we were doing a live. We just kind of decided on a whim, and it's also a Sunday, so we were like, "What are people doing at noon on a Sunday?" Probably not a whole lot. So whatever, it is what it is. But anything new
for me?
Yeah.
Did a lot of learning this past week, Smitty. A lot of learning. So, a couple things, two big things in my mind.
Your brain.
So, my brain. Yep. So, good one. So, I had this when Dritz first started Palm Street, I won a Palm Street giveaway, and he gave me this nice, beautiful female Sivan Worthy. I rehoused her when I got her. She ate twice, and then after the second meal, she just started acting real goofy, like really goofy. So through Tarantula Addicts, I reached out to some qualified advisors. The guy with the keys to the truck, no, and then another QA, Anna, who also, drives the truck. And they suggested some things that I could do to kind of see what was going on. So I rehoused the spider, made sure it had a water bowl, put it in an incubator at a little higher temperature, and it was still acting real weird. Like it wasn't righting itself very well, and it had a lot of like really wet. It was just like its sternum, like the sternum area under the carapace, was very, very moist, and it was looking really weird. Almost. Did you like
send me those pictures on Messenger?
No, I sent them to you via text message.
Okay. I'll send them to the thing, and I'll pull them up if you want.
Yeah, if you do that, yeah, I wouldn't be mad. So I sent Anna and Noah a bunch of pictures. They advocated for rehousing, bump in temperature, yada yada. Like she webbed a little bit. She didn't want to eat. She wasn't biting. Like when you think of a Von Worthy, like you think of something that's really going to throw hands and be apt to defend itself. And this one, it was just acting very, very off. And so, No had followed up with me, and we did like a video call. We got some better pictures. Telemedicine, if you will. Yeah, it was like, I call them the docs. And she was looking even worse. She was even more off balance. So we would call that ataxic. And she had this weird sheen to her. And we meaning Noah and Annabelle, basically came to the conclusion that she had nematodes, which is not good at all. So I'm not really an expert at all. I just have some spiders in boxes. But this was a wild caught spider, and it definitely had been carrying these nematodes for quite some time. And maybe there was some sort of external injury, or the spider was potentially immunocompromised. We're not really sure, and basically this tarantula was just kind of being consumed by these nematodes at this point. So it was pretty brutal. I had never seen that. This was a really cool spider. I'm a big Cereopagopus guy. So unfortunately, she passed away, and I've got her in some alcohol in a jar right now, and I will be able to send that to No, and he will send that sample to a nematodologist who's also a qualified advisor in tarantula addicts, and we'll kind of really see what's going on, hopefully. I am going to be following up with him on that in regards to more information, dates, times, etc. I had to really sterilize, like I froze the enclosure for like 4 days. Then I threw the dirt out, cleaned the incubator because that sheen you're looking. So Noah's explaining this to me, like that sheen that was on the spider, it almost looked like iridescent, but not in a good way, and it had like little wormies crawling across it, and those are nematodes fleeing the host's body because it's dying.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Mm.
So the spider was dead at this point. Like, I just want to kind of make that very clear. There is some substrate involved here on the again, my spider anatomy is mids, but if that is like the sternum, the underside of the carapace, NQA, but you can see really how many wormies, little wormies, and actual nematodes there were fleeing from the body because the spider had just like see how chill she's being. Like that is not her. Like that is like that right there, dude. She should be trying to climb up the brush and like throw hands. So this is like a huge reason why you should really avoid buying wild caught adults / wild caught spiders if possible. This again, I kind of won, and Dritz got in. Like, I'm not really sure how or when. I know who he got it from, but that's neither here nor there at this point. So this is kind of it was a big lesson to me for a couple of reasons. One, going to avoid buying these wild caught adults, and two, any new spider I get, I'm going to keep in another room in an incubator for at least a month and or 3 meals because these nematodes could have traveled.
Mhm.
And I did have to sanitize the incubator that I kept her in. And I I made sure that any other spiders that she was near were looking okay and eating, and everyone's good. But just makes me really consider quarantining newer potentially wild caught tarantulas in the future, just because that's not something that came to mind. But these nematodes are pretty dangerous after talking to No, and I really learned a lot, but
Did
also
they
I learned how
say
much we didn't know.
transmission wise, is it something where if they just come in contact with it, they have to be ingested kind of thing?
So there's a lot of studies going. There's a lot of studies going on, and I'm not very well versed in this, or rather, the scientists who are looking into this are having trouble verifying or figuring out exactly what the exact transmission is, how exactly they transmit. I remember No saying that some spiders who were exposed got it, some didn't. You know, yeah, Mason. Yes, if can you highlight that question, Justin, in the comments there? So Mason asked a great question. Yes, they can. They were fleeing the host, meaning my Von Worthy female. So they were fleeing her body. So they were looking for somewhere else to go. So that's why that dirt was frozen and then it was thrown away. And I sanitized the shit out of that enclosure. Yada yada, etc. But nematodes are there's a lot of unknown with them. There's not a lot of literature in regards to them, and if you have any like legit questions, like I super recommend following up with No, because this is a topic that I don't fully understand, and I'm guessing the community doesn't have a full grasp on either, but he definitely knows more than me because he explained it to me over the phone, and I don't know. I only basically it's big bad. Like, I learned that it's big bad, and you keep the new spiders in a different box in a different room. That's what I took away. And then kind of segueing off of that, I have been attempting to pair some Dahani in my spare time,
How'd that
and
go?
we had an unfortunate. So every male centipede I have is named after someone named Mike, because there's this guy, Mike, in the Discord that hates centipedes. He's terrified of them. And so every male is named Mike. And so, our
Mike 1, Mike
starting,
2, Mike
our
3.
starting male, Mike, named after the original Mike, is in pre-molt. So he was on the bench for a little bit, getting right, following up with, rip Michael Sarah. He was following up with the training staff, getting right, getting through molt. So we had Michael Sarah, the secondary male, our second string male, kind of follow up with one of my larger females. And dude, I put him in the sex dungeon, that she followed him in the tube. Like, things were looking pretty kinky, dude. Like, they were like, you know what I mean? Like, with terminal legs and stuff, they were like talking. I watched the interaction for like, on and off for maybe 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, dude, like, I'm going to go hang out with my girlfriend. I will leave them in this little tubby, like in the sex dungeon overnight. You know what I mean? Like, they're clearly getting it on. Like, I'm going to be hands off. I have done this in the past. I've discussed this with Hannes, the German pede prince, and it was not good. It was not a good situation. So I came back, and she was in the tube, and I was like, "Bet, dude, like, where's this web? Like, where's this sperm web? Like," and I keep looking, dude, and there's only one centipede in the sex dungeon, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Did the male bury himself?" And I'm like tripping. And I get this female out, and she's ginormous, dude. She looks like a beached whale. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so she killed and ate the male and left his feet in the dirt. All that was left.
See,
of
what was
his
crazy was you
feet,
sent that
dude.
video, and there was like no
literally
sign, like
no remains, dude. Just his toes.
Thought anything had happened, because like the sub was like completely undisturbed. It was just like he had just vanished. It was wild, because
dude, I tore that enclosure apart. I tore the sex dungeon apart. I took all the substrate out. I was running through it with the tongs. I took all the bark out. Michael Sarah was unfortunately consumed trying to produce USCBB plings for us. Michael Sarah was KIA in the line of duty. He was really doing his best for the Underdark. And now he's gone but not forgotten. I have Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is next. He's Myers. A little smaller. Ooh, Mike Myers I sent to Iowa. And I've got the original Mike. Hopefully we can get the original Mike back in action. He's as big as this female, so she won't be. I also fed her some cat food too, so maybe she's full. Like, I'm not sure. I got to see what I got going on. I've got to kind of reevaluate the situation and make sure.
Thank God I have multiple males.
Like, yeah, dude, she fucked his ass up, like, for lack of a better term. Like, I gotta really kind of observe the whole interaction. I was talking to a future guest, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I kind of told you," and I was like, "Yeah, dude, I know you told me. Like, I fucked up." And he was like, "Dude, you just gotta watch the whole interaction." So, I'm gonna be babysitting the sex dungeon next time I do this. You know what I mean?
Keller said that's how I want to leave this plane of existence.
Consumed by a larger woman in a plastic tub in my snake room. We can do that, Keller.
With Bill watching.
We can do that, Keller. Yeah, dude. I've
breathing
got like
heavily.
2 pairs of tongue. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I think that's a good sign that she ate him, because she's highly likely gravid then. I don't know if is this still housekeeping, or I'm too early.
Yeah, no, hop in, man.
You can always hop in, dude. I will say, Hannes, I will say, I followed up with a couple other people about that, what you just said, about that's a good sign of her being gravid. And people did not have experience with that. So, I'm not sure, we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. She's still fat as fuck, and she's in the other room, and I check her out all the time. But yeah.
Would there have been remnants of a sperm web thing if it had happened?
Yes, I would have been able to see.
It like I mean, not having not seen one. Like, I've seen tarantulas.
It's
like,
decent.
Classy did one. Like, it's obvious.
It's decent. Yeah, you got to be a real Fruit Loop to miss it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep. All right, that was my TED Talk, dude. It's your turn, Smitty.
I mean, nothing really new. It looks like as of all 3 Verminga Kyla Sakaya molts. I was going to say sheds molts. It looks like I'm at 1.2.
Okay, not a
So
bad ratio.
Not complaining about that. I had more Bambus molts, and so far, female.
Males, we're big rip, dude. We're trying.
One of the so I have 3 Mira. One of them is an adult female, and then the other 2 were I bought as slings. One of those appears to be male as well. So I'm pretty stoked about that. That's looking like that'll be the first species that I end up pairing, just on the as far as timeline goes and things that are lined up. So pretty stoked about that. I don't think there's really. I've had some of the Ephebopus Murnus molts. Looks like I've got a female for sure with at least one of them. So that's cool. Other than that, yeah, I mean, there's not really hasn't been anything else going on. Might put some chondros together today. We'll see.
Finally,
because I was talking to my buddy Luke Myers, who's on the West Coast, and he's been pairing up. He has a Biok for me that I produced with that first clutch that I did, however many years ago.
20 years ago.
Feels like it. So I was like, I need to start pairing some. It needs to happen. So probably throw some together today. That'll be fun because it's almost inevitable that one of them latches onto the other one because they're so food crazed all the time.
Yeah.
If it moves, they go for it. So I have to play some hockey there. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. With the weather being like it has, I haven't been buying anything. So we're waiting diligently.
Patiently.
Waiting
for more Bambus.
Yeah, I almost did. So there was some for sale, and I
know. Oh, you texted me. I know.
I was about to pull the trigger, but I was like, they're gonna get held up somewhere with FedEx. Like, it's a bad time to be buying stuff.
You just holster, man.
Maybe if they're there like next month, then I'll know it's a sign that I need to do it. So
you also need to buy that Apophysis female that's local to you.
I want to.
Everyone push him.
The problem is I don't have anywhere to put it.
You just get a large tub.
How large is large?
Like a tub, man.
I have a small room, dude.
Yeah, so you get maybe I don't know, a 20 to 30 liter, 20 to 30 quart, and you just put the spider in there, well ventilated, with a deep dark hole, and you throw a huge roach in there, and you just avoid being hair flicked by that animal. And
see, I really with the Sturmy and the other Apophysis I have now, that Sturmy doesn't even really kick anymore. Like, if I take the lid off, he's cool. Like, I think he's
no, you can't. Dude, you're playing
with
fire, brother.
For me. It hasn't been a problem.
It's called survivorship bias. Okay.
Maybe.
Definitely.
Sometimes I have the feeling they get more made sure if they are older. I had Puffin Meteos back in the past, and the slings, they were always kicking, or some other dwarf tarantulas. They were always kicking hairs at slings, but when they're near adult, they kind of stop that, and they recognize you're just the food monkey throwing something in.
I am the food monkey for sure.
I'm thinking with this Sturmy, because it's in a box that has like clasps, like one on each end and then 2 on each side. But I don't know. I don't clasp all of them. I just clasp the 2. I think at this point that Sturmy has figured out that when I pull that down and those clasps come up, like, food's about to come in, because it doesn't kick at all anymore. Like, it did it first, but now, like, I can take that lid off. I can go in there, do whatever I need to. It doesn't kick at all.
Interesting.
But I think it's like that Apophysis that, realized the one corner of the cage where the crickets always seem to drop in from. That's when it started hanging out over there too. So I think it's a very similar thing where, like, it's realized, okay, like, the vibrations of those clasps opening up and everything like that, like, food's coming. So I'm not worried about it, kind of thing. But I do. It's not that I don't want that Apophysis. It's just a matter of space is the big thing. Like, it's that genus in particular is not one that I'm too keen on putting in something too small. Like, it's I want to give them. I feel like Theraphosa. You want to do them right. Like,
so Dritz keeps it in 32 quart, like a big tub, dude. like a 32
Not
cord.
like the 6-inch deep ones, or like something taller. Like what's the?
It's
I don't know.
taller with a good bit of substrate. Yeah, it's taller with a good bit of substrate and well ventilated. And one side is super moist. And like, dude, it comes out and it's like they're just like it's just like a creature, dude. They're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love mine. Like, I mean, mine aren't even big. I mean, the Apophysis is probably the biggest spider, but it's still not full, like mature or anything yet. So it's an impressive animal. Anytime he's out, I'm like, mother of God, that's a cool fucking spider. Like,
Yeah, dude, they get
Jesus.
serious, dude.
Yeah, I was like, it's a fucking face hugger. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, other than that, really nothing news going on. But same local guy has some Fimbriatus that I've been eyeballing for a while and tempted to be like throw in 2 or 3 of those. He's got a female Goody right now, female Metallica that he wants.
We need Fimbriatus boys, so you want those boys, dude, and you want to send them up north, and we'll get them where they need to be.
Make me a deal on multiples. I'm sure he would. But
yeah, dude, I think you just need
to do that. He's got a Stromatopelma too, female.
I like those.
Yeah, they're cool, but the temptation is always there. He's got a bunch of Amphibedius too that he's partnered with.
Oh, yeah, I'm good with that.
I don't, those in like Formictopus, I really don't.
I'm good.
That's one of those ones I'm kind of at the same spot I was with Theraposa at a point where I'm like, I don't really get the hype, but maybe I just have to keep some to understand it and get it. But like Formictopus especially, I'm just like, I don't.
Yeah. I've got a Vietnam silver male coming. He's not mature yet, but he's gonna line up nice with my girl.
Nice.
I'm just continuing to play the odds and the species that I'm like really wanting to pursue.
Which is the Vietnam silver, which is one of those. We're gonna collaborate.
Yes. I have 3 of them.
I've got 2.
They're all the same size, pretty much. They're all small, but the only thing I don't have is Classy. I've got that female, and I need to get my hands on a couple more of those.
She's in Classy, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't given up on my dreams of Classy. They're just expensive.
Yeah, and they take 50 million years to molt.
They do. This girl's been off food for a couple weeks now.
Jesus Christ.
She's going into pre-molt. It's happening. Oh, the Calcody's molted and is now a slightly larger ant. It molted. I'm like, you're not even that much bigger. What the fuck?
Next year it'll molt again. Sweet.
Yeah. It's fun. A lot of the Gabonensis are molting, so that's pretty cool. Those are really starting to get some colors coming in. Hatties are freaking growing like weeds, dude. The electric blues are growing like weeds. Like that's why I like
just got a mature male.
The Asian stuff, man, I love because it grows so much faster than
good. Yes, excellent.
Just
we're gonna make more electric blues, dude. My biggest one just became a mature boy, a mature man last night. He decided, he was like, dude, it's time. There's several females waiting for him. We'll put him in a cup and we'll bring him on down once he figures himself out and hardens up.
The Balfour molted too, but I don't know what that is yet. So
still holding it hostage.
Yes.
Wow.
That one I may go in and pull it because I'm like, you're just gonna
it'll figure it out. Yeah.
But I could still tell from like there's a little tiny window in the back of where it hides out where I can kind of see, and it was kind of pressed up against it and it was still pretty soft. So I was like, let me not go in there and
is that the one that I sent? Is that the one that I sent?
Yeah, that's the only one I have. That one. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that today. Go in there and pull that and see what we got. I'll never turn down an excuse to break out that microscope, dude. It's so much fun for me to do that. I don't know why I like it so much. Maybe it's because I can feel accomplished.
Yeah,
the challenge of unraveling it and getting it to where you need it to, and then being able to like get a picture of it and stuff is,
that's
magical.
Nuts.
Magical.
And the rules keep changing.
The rules keep changing, so I'm sure I'll be like, "Oh, sweet, this is a female," and everyone will be like, "Nope, that's what girls look like," and I'm like, or males look like, and I'm like, "God damn it, you motherfuckers! Pick
every time.
Pick a rule and stick with it." But yeah, so it's Sunday. We're here. It's noon-ish, and that can only mean one thing. we have an international guest once again with us, and it is our boy Hannes here, who was in the ArachNerds chat on Instagram. Which, if you want to join that, hit us up. There's a lot of us, not a ton of us in there, and most of us are rather okay at what we're knowing what we're talking about. But Hannes is definitely one of the pros. Yeah, so.
Thanks.
Mr. Hannes Driemer is joining us.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, everything good here. Not too much animal action right now. It's German winter time, and yeah, I just have them in my normal bedroom, and I don't heat them up too much. So yeah, animal-wise, not really much new stuff. I got some stuff at the Hum Expo last week.
Tell us, what did you get?
Yeah.
I got a couple of different stuff. This was the first expo I actually made some money in years. The last years I always spent money, and this year I had some trades and some nice sales. But I got one mated female of some undefined Afroneutria species. It's a ctenide from Southern Africa. I think that's the genus Afroneutria, but I don't know. I got, what else did I got? I got trapdoor spiders, my first non-European trapdoor spiders, Lephistius jaronini. Yeah, the normal Lephistius, the kind of, the normal trapdoor spiders with the wires. They are super cool. They are
super cool.
This big, but they already built trapdoors, and I could observe them hunting. Super cool. Never had stuff that built doors like that before. I got some Macrotele maculata, which are some funnel web spiders.
Yeah.
I got a pair of Scolopendra hainanum, the black variant, captive bred. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna raise them up, and these are captive bred, and yeah.
1.1 like sexed.
Yes.
That's
I think
with
Hainanum you can sex them because they are sexual dimorphic, and the males have different colored hind legs, and there was an urban myth that you can just sex them by the color of the legs in general, and that was proven wrong, I think. But the hind leg stuff, it seems to be true. At least that's what the guy that sold them to me told me. So yeah, we're gonna find it out in I think maybe 1.5, 2 years. I think they will be mature.
Nice. Yeah, those are badass, dude. I gotta get myself some more peds one day.
Yeah, pizza are awesome. I also got some. Oh no, sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I also got some other stuff, but nothing that I bought, just gifted by friends. So I traded. I got some cool Scorpius Olympus, which are offspring of a very, very good friend of mine, who is the first one. I think who got offspring of this species. These are small brown boring Greek scorpions for the normal scorpion enjoyer, but as I really like Scorpius, these are one of the dream species of this genus, because they are so a bit elongated, and they only occur on Mount Olympus in Greece.
That's cool.
That's nuts, dude. What?
Yeah. And I got one parthenogenic dwarf whip spider, which is Carinus acosta. They are really, really small, and yeah, they're parthenogenic. Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's nuts.
So what peds are you working with besides the Hainanum?
At the moment, not so much. I kept some different species some years ago. Right now, I have like really breeding projects. I raise up some Dehani cherry rats, the Dehani from Malaysia, which are like this bright, beautiful red color. I have 4 of those, and I have 4 of Idmus digmus from Kenya. Not the
those
big
are sick
ones, but the smaller species with the legs that are like part yellow, part blue. These are quite cool. I try to sex them with the method Phil uses, but they did not get knocked out. They stopped moving. In the second you took them out of the water, they were moving again.
Reactivated.
Yeah. I also have one pretty big. I bought it as Scolopendra gigantea or gigantea. Sorry for my German pronunciation, but gigantea is, as I know, the large ones from South America. And I bought this one as a pling, I think nearly 6 years ago, and it was this small. And now it came back out again from the dry period, from the hibernation, and now it's like 22 giant. Or more. It's giant. So I'm not gonna sex this one. I'm too afraid I will hurt it. So this is one of my rare pet inverts. I also have some other Dehanis, but not as a project, more as a just fun keeping type of, and some Cingulata again. I always
nice, dude. Cingulata are super cool.
Yeah, I always have Cingulata from different locations. I had some from Spain, from Portugal, from Cyprus, from Greece back in the day. These ones were from Greece. Just plings, but they grow nicely. It's one of my favorite species. They don't get so big, but there's a huge variety of colors. They are basically our European form of Europolymorpha.
Yeah, polymorpha are sweet too.
But I'm not really into the whole breeding and sexing peats so super deep. I just enjoy keeping them. And
not yet.
Just yet. I mean, I really want to try it, but with the species that are more expensive, I don't know. I don't want to spend like €1,000 on just some plings to hope if I drown them and they stay alive that I can sex them. And it's a bit.
You got to make sure they're really robust, dude. Whenever I'm not gonna drown a pling until it's like, a big centipede and it's eating and it's drinking and it's like really robust. And I almost never sex them when I first get them. Like I want to let them chill out and eat something and like establish before I do that.
Yeah, settle
before I literally drown them and pop their genitals. But yeah, it's just what it is. Yeah.
It's the text messages Phil sends me about his peed popping is hilarious. I'm going home and popping peeds.
Yeah, bro. Can get some ice, put it in a bucket, pop some peeds.
The fact that he's dressed up in a gimp suit while he does it is relevant. I don't know. Like, again, not being someone who's like into peds, not really paying a whole lot of attention to what's available and stuff. It just seems like it's mostly just Dahani that are available here in the States. Like, it doesn't. I mean, some of the other stuff is too, but I mean, as far as like regularly seen,
Dahani are super commonly imported, so you can find those everywhere. Right. You can find polymorpha a lot of places. You can find subspinaps a lot, and then you got to look a little bit harder for the nicer stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's because Dahani are also bred for food in many Asian countries. So
they're everywhere, dude.
Export them from these kind of farms. And
same with mutilins. Mutilins are used in traditional Chinese medicine.
Yes. Yeah, that's why we have these mutilins, albinos, and like dark form and redhead and all these forms. Because if you breed like 10,000 of them, there are some mutations. And I talked to an older German guy at Hamm who had just mutilans on his table, and he told me that he got a Chinese contact from one of these breeding farms, and he just sorts out the special ones, and then he breeds them at home. So he has gold ones and albino ones and all that stuff. So
just like the king rats.
It's so cool.
Like all the king rat morphs we have are because like almost the same situation. Because those are bred in mass numbers over there for food.
Yeah.
And
that's
cracks
so cool.
me up that it's I won't say a trash snake, but for lack of a better word, like they're so disposable over there,
dude.
And then here it's like they've become such a big thing herp wise. Like king rats have really taken off in the last couple of years.
That market's pretty saturated right now, and it's only going to continue to get like that with all the morphs.
I haven't kept them still. They're cool snakes. Like Jake had
They're
one
beautiful.
or two over the years, and like they're neat. I've never really had much of a desire to keep them.
Yeah, once I have more space, I'll definitely have a couple of them for sure. I like the big colubrids.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll stick to Gonyosoma if I'm getting back into larger stuff like that. But they're all cool. I get the appeal. I don't like I said, I don't like when you guys talk about some of these other species that like I've heard Phil mention, and maybe I've seen them in passing at a show as like a
Such
one-off
as
or something.
like what?
Like Cingulata. Like I don't think I've ever seen one of those available. Like it's almost always Dahani or Polymorpha that I see at tables.
I got lucky because anytime, so Warren from Bushveld will always get me a Dahani in trades and whatever. He'll always pick up Dahani because we're looking for more males after the loss of Michael Cera. And then any wholesale list with peds, Dritz will always reach out to me before he buys anything and say, hey, do you want anything? So I have a couple other people's eyes looking out for me. That's how I got that white beard. Johnny Venom was able to get some white beard plings, and he reached out to me. Like I have a couple other people's eyes, like kind of looking out for me, because otherwise, like you said, it can be tough, especially at shows. And then, dude, a lot of times you got to look at the centipede too before you buy it, because sometimes these Dahanis they look like shit.
Well, not even that. Like, I've sent you a couple of pictures of some that I've seen at tables on, at shows and stuff, and like, honestly, they could have one thing written on there, and I couldn't tell you if that's what it actually was or not. So it's like,
well, a lot of
if I see something, I send it to you, and I'm like, if Phil sees it and it is actually something like interesting, then I'll pick it up and I could ship it or something. I just send it to you because I'm like, I have no idea if this Hynonum is actually a Hynonum. I don't know what a true Hynonum looks like.
The worst thing with peds is that they are mostly named after the color. And if you don't, I couldn't identify species of peds with living specimens, I think. But when you look at all the Dehani or Suspinipes, there are so many locality forms, but they are never named after the locality. They are always just named cherry red or flame leg, orange leg, white beard.
Yeah, some bullshit. Yeah.
It'd be like
centipede taxonomy,
white bloom and it's fucking black. Like,
yeah, dude.
I don't know. So I just said it to you because I'm like, maybe this is something that's just mislabeled, and so they have it at a good price. Like, I don't know. I'll just send it to Phil and see. Like,
I got a Vietnam black flame or something, some random black centipede that was mislabeled as a Dahani because Warren got it in a trade, and he was like,
probably is way common. Like, that's one of the reasons. Like, I haven't done much for me. Is like, I feel like it's kind of a lot like some of the Pamphibedius stuff.
Yeah,
like,
and like random undescribed Seriopagapus. Like, it's all that Southeast Asian shit. You know how it is. You know how it goes, dude.
Yeah. I don't know.
But alas, here we are, trying to make him bang in a little sterilite tub that I call a sex dungeon.
He's doing his best. He's doing the Lord's work.
Hannes and I are. Yeah, more so Hannes.
Nah, not with peds. With spiders, yeah, but not with peds.
Yeah, talk about the true spiders you're working with, dude. Hit us with the list.
There's a lot going on there too. Yeah.
Yeah, buckle up.
Yeah. I don't know if I can list everything on the top of my head right now, but I mainly work with Spiracids. So your huntsman spiders, and mainly the genus Heteropoda. I got, I think, 7 or 8 species of Heteropoda at the moment, and also some other genera like Holconia. With Holconia, I only have 1 species at the moment, which is Holconia murreensis, and they are growing in some nice size slowly. So
nice.
they're getting bigger. These are your Australian huntsmen, the classic ones you see on the Instagram videos. And what else? With Spiracids, I have some rarer stuff, like Phaniacetes. These are the moss mimicking, sitting on the tree bark flat.
Those are really cool.
Oh yeah, those are super cool.
They I got the chance to get my hands on some import animals, and a friend of mine took 6 and I took 6, and they were like medium sized and not adult yet. And my first pair molted adult like 2 weeks ago, and I did throw them together yesterday. I completely forgot about that until now, so I'm tempted to look if he's still alive. Yeah, I got some of those. I got Palistes superciliosus, which is the rain
Ooh.
spider you talked about with a shame, I forgot his name.
Warren.
The nice guy from South Africa, yeah.
Yeah.
These are the spiders he kept in his room as a kid, and I have some of them too now. A paired female. I'm waiting for the egg right now. I think I'm already forgetting some of the Sparacide. I also got some ctenids, so the wandering spiders.
Ooh,
Some
spicy.
yeah, one undescribed or unidentified species from Southern Africa. I got one boa species from Southeast Asia, named after David Bowie.
Those are cool.
Mhm.
But that's not the heteropoda David Bowie. That's the genus just Bowie. Yeah, some from Cuba. Yeah, but in general, I just keep a lot of true spiders. I also, these are the main genera I focus on, and I also have some other families like Trechalides or Cupinius or Pisaura. Yeah, basically, I buy everything that's on a list that's new or not a tarantula.
Wow.
I think I'm
Just literally swinging for the fences already.
yeah, I think
46
I'm just
minutes
gonna
in.
lose the the red stripe if I'm just list everything. So I also keep some velvet spiders, Ericida, different genera, different species. I don't keep jumping spiders. I'm just not a big fan of jumping spiders. I tried them some years ago several times, but this is one
They
of
don't do
the
it for you.
spider families that don't do really well in my care. I think they need too much attention in terms of light, and yeah, like you have to feed them more than you have to feed other true spiders. Yeah, but basically I keep a bit of everything, a bit of nearly every non-mygalomorph family that's in the trade, I would say. I also keep some other non-tarantular mygalomorphs like the traptor spiders I mentioned, or some funnel web spiders, and yeah, that's what I keep in terms of spiders.
Wow,
it's a lot to keep
that's
up with.
yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts. It's quite the list.
Yeah, it's quite an addiction, I would say, with when you have this network with all your friends that are also spider peeps, as we
Oh,
have
you're
in
telling
the
me,
group
dude.
chat.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have some friends here in Germany or in Poland that always send me, did you see this new list? Yeah, we have to get some of those. Let's split the price. Or I traded with some other guy. Do you want some of those? And it's like a healthy drug addiction.
Yeah, the velvet spiders have caught my attention after we had talking to Sharpie.
Sharps. Yeah.
I've when I see those available, I eyeball them a little bit, and I think at some point I would like to. I don't know what.
Yeah, those are cool.
I'd be down to have a couple of those just to try them out and see how I like them.
They are super cool, yeah, and super easy to care for and to raise. At least, I don't think you lose them because they die out of thirst or of hunger or something like that. It's if you lose them, it's either too cold or they have some parasites or so. But one of the most bulletproof families I had yet. At least all the ones that are more in the arid regions and they're more like on the ground, like Eresus or Gandana Nemo. Wait, I have one big female in this shelf, and
oh yeah, let's see it, dude.
I don't know. There's just something about them that's oh my god.
Yeah, dude, that's kind of cool, man. Look at that. That's a woman.
Yeah,
that's a straight woman.
And I raised this from a like teeny tiny sling without any moisture at all, just from the food. And yeah, she's doing fine. She's also paired. The other paired female has another egg sac. again, she already had like 1 or 2 XX, and she's in a bigger enclosure in the other shelf. But yeah, I'm
Which
hoping this
species
is
is that?
this is Gandana Nemo, and I bought it without a species name, but I highly likely think it's Gandana Nemo echinatus, or echinatus if you pronounce it in English. Yeah, from Southern Africa, pretty big. I would say maybe the second largest or the largest species in the trade. The classic ladybird Eresus valkeneri, the big Greek species. These are enormous big. I once saw like, what do you call it when it's dead and you prepare that it doesn't rot away? Taxidermy.
A wet specimen, yeah, taxidermy.
Yeah, and it was not a wet specimen in alcohol.
Oh,
It was like mounted into something.
yeah.
And yeah, there was a French arachnologist who sadly is dead already, but his son always does the shows, and he showcases the taxidermy stuff his father did. And this guy was the master at spider taxidermy. He had like he has a display from some baboon tarantula species where he displayed them mating, the dead spider, and they look so alive. That's really cool.
That's
and
so cool.
In this showcasing thing, he had also a big box of taxidermy velvet spiders, and there was one Eresus valkeneri female, and it was like the size of the palm of my hand with legs. I never saw a velvet spider like this in real life. And
wow.
Yeah, currently I have around 100 Eresus valkeneri slings, and I hope some of them will get this big.
Wow.
They seem so much more interesting. Like those, if it's between those and like jumpers, I feel like the velvets are much more interesting to me.
Cool, for sure.
Mostly from like again, like the natural history aspect of like the environments they're living in, you know, is really interesting to me. And
no shade on jumpers, obviously. They're still wicked cool.
Yeah, just if I have to choose, I'm gonna do velvets before I do jumpers.
Right.
They just seem really interesting.
Yeah, and there are also some sub-social species like the Stegodyphus from Africa. I once had Stegodyphus dumicola, like the big colony of those, or not colony, but like a big group of those. And you could throw in any size of roach or cricket or locust or something, and it just wouldn't stop raining spiders for like 20 minutes. They all come slowly crawling to that and tearing it apart. Yeah.
That's super cool.
That'd be neat.
Why don't you so what is your could you talk about why you don't do tarantulas? Like why don't they do it for you?
Currently,
why
I don't do tarantulas currently because
yes, correct.
But at what point, like why that?
Current Hannes, current Hannes, yeah.
Like why did you move away from them too?
So I might have to give a bit of a backstory, if that's okay.
Hit us with it, dude.
I started with invert keeping when I was, I think, 8 or so, and started with phasmids and mantids and beetles and stuff like that. And then with like, I think 13, I got my first centipede because I thought they were cool. And then when I had the centipede, I thought about it and I said, you can't be an exotic invert keeper if you never kept tarantulas, yeah? Everybody does. So I should get a tarantula. And I was at this point not afraid of spiders, but I wasn't like a big fan of the fast movement and I wasn't used to like keeping the predatory animals that could move fast.
But you got a centipede.
Yeah, but it's different.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know, because
I get
the centipede. The centipede was like, I never knew about tropical centipedes, and I read a magazine back in the day, which was just for like the keeping of exotic inverts. And this one title they had was just like the main theme was centipedes, and I was like, oh, these X's, they're super cool. And yeah, I got one of those, and then I thought, okay, I'm keeping a centipede. A spider is maybe the same level. So then I got my first few tarantulas, and as you know, out of like the first week it was 2, the second week it was 5, and then after 20 you stop counting.
I've been there. I'm there right now.
I was gonna say, I can't say.
Literally captain of that boat right now, dude.
And one day I was at my local feeders and supply store, and they had I looked at the sling section, and all the back then I was still like, I think 14, 15, something like that, and I had little pocket money, so I always just bought like slings or stuff I could get for cheap, like nothing over really €10 for a sling or so. And then I started to look at some Cupinius guitarsi, and they had a picture of an adult female Cupinius guitarsi, the orange form, from Panama. And this spider was so crazy looking, and I just Googled if it was like related to Phoneutria, because back in the day they were still in the same family as the famous Brazilian wandering spiders, and but Google said it wasn't like that venomous, and then I just said, yeah, okay, I will try and keep it. And I bought this Cupinius back home, and it was so fast at hunting. It ate every time I fed it. It grown into a, like, from a sling like this, it had grown to a big adult female like in 1 year. So, and I was so amazed by that, and that just observing it hunting, actively hunting without a web, just stalking the prey and growing so fast, and the color too. And then I started to get some other more true spiders, and at the beginning I didn't really bred them. I just got like one of each species, or I got like 5 slings or so. And one day I started having adult groups of something, and I just thought, okay, maybe I should throw the male and female together. And then I got my first few XX of some Heteropoda species, and that opened the whole new world for me, because I could like sell them in bulks or trade them for other stuff. And that was the point of no return, I think. I have to say, I tried to breed tarantulas before, and I didn't have success with Psalmopoeus. I just had like bad XX. I had one XX of some Hapalopus species, the yellow dwarf tarantulas. I think it's Formosus now. That worked out. So a small bit of tarantula breeding I did too, but the true spiders, they are just better, because they are more niche and they are more different hunting techniques. And even in one genus, Heteropoda, you have so many like different forms of one spider. They have different XX in one genus. They are long, thin ones which look like moss or lichen. There are other ones that are big and bulky and move more slow. And there's such a variety in true spiders, in color, in pairing techniques, in hunting techniques, in XX, in lifestyle in general. And that was like the thing for me, because with tarantulas, of course, you also have different lifestyles and such, but at the end of the day, they are all in the same family. And with some exceptions, like Idiotelemira or Typhloena or something like that build streptors, they all kind of, I'm not trying to piss all the tarantula guys off, but they all kind of are...
Careful.
They all kind of are a bit slower growers, and if you kept some different genera of tarantulas, you kept them all. In my opinion.
Yeah, I get it. You're not wrong by any means.
Okay.
No.
I mean, there are super cool tarantulas out there, and I of course still like them because they are cool spiders. But just for me, I have a limited space because I still live at my parents' home, and I have every invert stuff in my room. And with the room I want to focus on the breeding projects I want to do, and this is just not the space where I can just say, okay, half of the shelf are big tarantula females. I just keep for enjoying them. So and with true spiders, you don't only have one family. You have like so many different families you can choose of. I think when I have a quick look at my list on the phone, I have like stuff out of 14 or 15 different spider families, and each family different genera, each genera different species, and that is, I think it's just kind of this gotta catch them all collectors thing.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And also all the different kind of strategies, like this Gandana Nemo couldn't be more different to a heteropoda in terms of how they catch their prey. So
Yeah.
it's really fascinating when you have all these different kind of examples from evolution.
Although I could say one of the species of heteropoda that's definitely caught my attention is the Lunula.
Yeah, those are cool.
I keep seeing those for sale on lists, and every time I see them, I think of Hannes, and I'm like,
They get really they're so like long. It's so cool.
Yeah, they are
color
quite,
on them is
quite
nuts.
big. My large female, I think she will build a third egg sac soon. She's already sitting in
A third
the
egg
cock tube.
sac.
Yeah,
Boy.
once you pair them with, I think most true spiders, depending on the family and on the genera, of course, but most true spiders will do at least 2-3 sacs after one pairing.
I know, like with Latrodectus, like it's
Damn, boy.
egg sacs are popping out all the friggin' time, man. They're
It's
cranking
Sac
out.
City.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lunula is definitely one of my favorite all-time spiders because they were the first I would say more valuable species that I managed to breed, and with this species, well, with the exec first successful exec of this species in my care, this opened like a whole new world for me. I met people that are now long-term friends over the years. I could make some nice pocket money and buy other cool spiders, and I got the chance to write an article in a reptile magazine about them. And yeah, I don't know, I just really like the heteropoda, and Lunula always got a special place in my heart.
I mean, like, how are you keeping adults? Like an adult female, like how are you typically setting them
I
up?
have them in the 20 by 20 by 30 centimeters. So
Okay.
30 centimeters high. I think this is like, how many centimeters are 1 inch? Like 2.5.
I think that's like a 12 by 12 by 18, maybe.
Wait, I can show you. My room is a bit messy. Ignore the mess, but
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, so nothing outrageous. Yeah, all right. Nothing outrageous, but decent sized.
I mean, you can keep them in bigger enclosures too. That's not a problem at all. But yeah, for breeding, it's enough. And this is I wouldn't go smaller than that for adult females. But yeah, in my experience, it's enough. They can roam around. They mainly sit on the glass or on the cork at night and wait for something to crawl by and then eat it, or they stalk a bit around the enclosure. But you probably would manage to keep them in smaller boxes too, but I think this is all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, if there was a species like that'd be the one that I'm more willing to try out for sure. Those and the David Bowie eye are also really cool. But
do you have to protect the male when you put them together? Do you have to protect him with a paintbrush, or do you just let him get cooked?
Yeah, I'm a bit lazy. And
so you let him get cooked. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the species, and
yeah,
for most
and how many you got?
If I see that when I put them in and I see that the female is also like in the mood, I just let them do his thing, and if he's alive the next morning, yeah, I catch him out. But
wow, brutal.
If not,
brutal.
Yeah, and I have to say,
awesome.
It depends. It depends if somebody lends me a male and it's not my male and I didn't raise it, or I don't have backup males but several females. Of course, I will protect it and watch it. But sometimes, for example, Palustis, these rain spiders, I paired them, or I put them together, and nothing happened for 2 hours, and then I had something else to do, left the house, forgot that I had the male in there, and later that night I went to the bar, got home in the night a bit after some beers, and then I was not in the mood for catching out the fast huntsman spider.
Yeah.
And in the next morning, both were good, and he cleaned his pedipalps, so that's always a good sign after pairing. So yeah, then I could catch them out. But with the heteropoda, in my experience, when they did eat the male, the XX were always the most successful.
Yeah, you see that a lot with like Cereopagopus, Chilobrachys. Like that's what Dritz was saying a lot of times. Is like when she kills his ass, usually it's a good sack.
It's weird.
It is weird. Imagine like being that dude, like trying to navigate that. Like, all right, I'm trying to get laid, but also there's a good chance I
the
get.
cost is great. Yeah.
Yeah, but someone's got to do it, Smitty. Someone's got to do it.
It might be worth it. I don't know, guys. Let's find out. Like, let's roll those dice. Let's.
Yeah, man. Let's see. Not like I'm doing anything else. It's not like I'm eating.
I can only imagine though, like as fast as heteropoda are, man, like that's got to be. If it goes south, that's got to be hectic, right?
Yeah, she's coming quick, dude. She's coming quick,
Yeah,
and she's coming heavy, and it's yeah.
And because of they don't mate like tarantulas like
Right.
this. They made like this wolf spider style. Like the male crawls backwards on the female and then goes under her. So they sit like
This is the reach around.
this. Yeah. And,
oh my god, they're doing the reach around. I didn't know that.
Yes. They. I think not all true spiders, but all sparacids, all ctenids, all leucosids. Basically, I think everything we have in the hobby right now without latrojectors and stuff, because the males are small enough that they just can go in there. But they're all doing this reach around thing, and if a female heteropoda is not in the mood and the male is like too fast, he just jumps on him. And...
Damn, he gets the Michael Cera. Hannes, you might have frozen, brother.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
no,
he's back. There he is, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from downtown.
The internet connection.
No, it's all right, dude. Oh.
No, I can still.
Okay. All right, we're good. Marco?
Polo?
Okay.
Here, I found a video.
Oh, nice.
No, go back.
What's going on here, dude? Uh-oh. Hannes is loading now. Hannes is buffering, dude.
Dude.
Yeah, look at that female, dude. She's demonic. Oh, I love it. Oh my god. Uh-oh, Hannes. We lost Hannes.
He's back.
He's back.
Yeah,
right,
I'm back.
He's back.
There he is, dude. Goat. Oh yeah, look at this man's, dude. He's like trying. He's like, dude, maybe she'll be nice to me. Maybe she'll be mean.
She's kind of in a weird position.
Yeah, but she looks like a. Oh my god, dude. Fast. You see how it's labeled fast?
And fast and cat.
Yeah. God, I love that, dude.
Oh, I guess we don't actually get to see the pairing, but
oh, that's wieners.
But I also have to say, with most heteropoda, they normally don't eat the male before the pairing. I think I only had that happen once, and that was because the male got spooked and like ran into her without tapping and all. So, but
oh, nice.
I think
in
nearly all cases, either a pairing happens and she eats him afterwards, or no interaction happens. So if she's not interested, she's also not eating him. And I would always advise, if you want to pair up two spiders, just push her full of crickets before, and then everything is going to be fine.
Wow. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, I'm trying to find like a decent video that kind of shows it, but there's really not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of crazy.
Now I'm curious.
So what do you do with the dudes? Do you just take them back out and you're like, all right, man, we're gonna get you laid with someone else, or you just kind of let them die of old age? Like, what's your vibe?
I mostly trade them with friends because, for example, some of the spiders I have. So here in Europe, it's mainly tarantulas too. So the true spider community is not as big, and I don't know. I just put them up for sale sometimes, but most of the time I keep them as backup until I have like a hatched XX. So if something goes wrong, I just keep them as backup, or I trade them with friends who might need some. Yeah.
Cool.
How many babies are you getting in a sack typically on average with the heteropoda stuff?
I would say on average with heteropoda, the bigger species like Lunula that build XX that are like like half circular and they just
Mhm.
stick it to the glass. With them, I would say it can be normally average. I would say between 300 and 400, but
Dude, what?
I also had like 700 and
What?
up.
700? What do you even do with that? How do you get all those cups? Like, do you have to place a wholesale order? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's not such a big problem here because we have some firms that are like specialized in cups for invite raising, and because many just hobby people breed here in Germany, you can just order like these holders for these sling boxes, and it's not really
Damn, dude, the
expensive.
man's cupped up. The man is cupped up over there.
So with smaller Heteropoda species like Yavanna, for example, or some other species that carry their egg sac around, with them it's usually just if it's the first egg sac, it's can be like 150 to 100, I would say, and if they are later egg sacs, it can be as small as like 50. But that's rare the case. It's mostly with Heteropoda, it's at least like with nearly every species, at least it's like 150, and the maximum I would say that I experience is a bit over 700.
Like
And they build like at least 2 XX, but most of the time like 3 XX, and my record was 4 XX from one pairing. So
good lord.
That's actually banana land. That is banana land. Like, here I am tripping about managing like, I don't know, 70 Haiti or like, I don't know, 60 Lividus, and you're just like literally pushing numbers out there in Germany across the pond.
Well, that's if they're attaching it to the glass, I'm assuming you can't remove it.
You got to just let it ride.
Yeah, you can, but most of the time I keep the paired females in like these boxes, plastic boxes you can seal off, because then you can just let the babies hatch inside the mom's enclosure, take the mom out, and have the babies inside there. But in this glass enclosure I showed you, I had the problem that with the first Lunula sac this year, I was on holiday and she was on a sac, and I knew it wouldn't hatch before I was back, or not fully hatch. And when I came back, they were already like slowly hatching, but then they stay around the sac and the mom for like 5 to 7 days, so no problem. But in one night, I woke up and they were like, I could see all the slings on my wall and like free roaming in the room, and I thought, fuck yeah, the whole enclosure was covered in basically they are like fruit fly sized, and the whole enclosure was covered in them, and they were crawling out of the sides where the glass door slides in. And then I taped up the whole enclosure, and it took like I think a week in total to separate. I think I separated 550 slings out of the enclosure like that. Yeah. So I recommend like either you take the exec, or if you want to go the safe round, the best rounds are always those where the female hatches the sac. House the gravid female in like a container like this, where you can this mesh, and it closes safely, and then you can just like let them hatch in there. And in the moment where they are like hatching but not like running around, you can just separate the female out, or you can incubate the XX artificially and then throw the whole XX into a box like this full of cork. I did that some years ago when I raised different Ctenidae or some other Heteropoda. That was my main method, like dumping the artificially incubated sac into in a big box and let them cannibalize a bit. So out of 700, you just got like 400 and 400 strong ones, and then you can separate the stronger ones that maybe molted even one time or so.
How long is it that you're typically waiting for that to be the case? Like if you let the the group sort of thin itself out, like how long are you keeping them together like that before you?
Depends on how much you're feeding them and the density. I couldn't say for sure now. There are some species like the Lenops. These are not sparacids, but they look like you squish the Heteropoda. And this year I had the first XX of those for me. And these are super friendly. They don't eat their siblings. They just chill
Live
around.
together.
Even if there's not much food, they just get thinner, and you throw in some fruit flies again, and then they eat the fruit flies, but they never eat their siblings. And with those, I
Wow.
keep them together since summer, and it's not a really big deal.
Mhm.
I mean, for sure, some get eaten, but with Heteropoda, if you don't feed for some time, they can really cannibalize each other in behalf of weeks. And with Copineus, that was fun. I had a Copineus exec. I did the same method, and Copineus is, so at least the species I had, Salai, the market is a bit oversaturated because they are dirt cheap, and they are easily bred, and they are like, you can get them everywhere. And I did like this battle royale thing with the exec, and out of one exec, I think it took like 3 months. There was only one spider in there of the whole exec.
Whoa,
I mean,
that was the strongest one.
I think I sold like 100 of them or so, but they were like, this exec was for sure 300, 400 slings, and
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. And now I have
Can
one
you-
big one left.
Wow, that's nuts. Can you talk about like managing massive numbers of slings like that? Like like first and foremost, like what are you feeding them all when they're like really tiny like that?
So with
And then how do you manage that efficiently?
So with the most stuff I breed, they already eat Drosophila, so fruit flies in the first
Mhm.
stages. There are some cases of some really tiny ctenidae that hatch out so small that they eat springtails.
Okay.
But most of the stuff eats the small Drosophila right away, and many species also eat the big species of Drosophila right away. So that's my main feeder for the first few mold stages. And when they get larger, I try to switch to pinhead crickets or to firebrats, which I, as you know, really like using. They kind of are like silverfish, but they occur in bakeries. That's why they're called firebrats, because they like the heat. And these are super cool because they have high protein. They are really soft. They don't eat your spider when it's molting. They can't hurt the spider. And this is like my main feeder for everything small. That's already a bit bigger. And managing wise, I would say one thing that really helped me is to organize your stuff. For example, you see this shelf is just slings, smaller slings, and these are the grow out boxes. So you have like one shelf. You can just, you have one type of feeder for that shelf. So on a feeding day, you don't have to say, okay, what is in there? Okay, I need another cricket box. I need the roach bin. I need that. I need that. You can just have like one box of your feeders, and you can go just dot like that. And also use like same enclosures for everything, not like some people in here that have like 100 different plastic boxes. I would go crazy.
Dude, what are you trying to say? I feel attacked. You're right.
No, but yeah, I think it's,
I
for
use what's
example,
available.
yeah. The best things for slings are like, I think everyone, at least here in Europe, uses the same stuff. Are these small,
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
what do you call them. Yeah, these
A
ones.
little
and
vial, a little
Dram
tube
vials.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One stack of those in this plastic stacks is like 70, and you can stack that upon each other. So if you use them, yeah, you just can say, okay, I have 2 stacks, so 140 of a species. And if you are, I mean, it depends on what's in there, but if you manage and a bit, you are good at feeding, you can feed one stack of those like in 20-30 minutes. So 70
You're
in
feeding fruit flies.
Yes, mainly the big fruit flies.
Heidi.
Yes, I always mix up Melanogaster and Heidi, but Melanogaster are also good. But I like to use the bigger ones just because they are nicer to handle for me.
Yeah. Well, that was my issue with like squirplings with those isometrists and stuff. Was like if I was feeding fruit flies, it was so hard to feed multiple slings at the same time without fruit flies getting everywhere. Like, how
Okay.
are you handling that? Like, how do you?
So most of the time I take a larger container like this, and you can maybe see there's still some fruit flies in there.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I just throw in a bunch of fruit flies in this and put the lid on, close the fruit fly container, put it away, and then I take like an empty dram rye, and I just like open the enclosure, go in, have like one or two in there, and then I put it in the little sling well. And with this method, I rarely lose any fruit flies, and it's pretty effective because you don't have to open the fruit fly enclosure, and there comes so much out right now. Yeah, this is the most effective thing that I did over the years. I'm sure there are other ways.
Yeah,
I know someone who
I would put mine in the fridge for a few minutes, but then the problem is like after 60 seconds or so, they start moving again, and so I'd have to go put them back in the fridge for a few minutes, and it got to I was like, there has to be a more efficient way to do this, because it was just they were either getting everywhere or I was doing like suicide runs back and forth to the fridge, to get it was frustrating.
Some people also dust them in like the calcium powder or flour or something like that, but I don't think that's a super good idea, because that powder can cause mold in the little humid enclosures. Yeah, so this is the most effective thing. Do you have like can your flies fly, or can they just walk?
Okay. No, they could just walk, but they're just they move quick, man, especially if they're in just like a sort of a regular deli cup like we get from the the pet stores and stuff here. And it's like, if that culture is on and popping, dude, like you open that lid and they just start going everywhere. And I mean, it's not that big of a deal because they don't really survive very well in drier environments, so they don't last long. It's just frustrating because they just go everywhere, and then it's like I literally just need to feed 10 slings.
Okay.
And it's like I can't do it without 30 fruit flies going all over the place and not even in the damn containers that I need them to. So
yeah, but I would just recommend the box method. It's
I like that a lot more.
It's pretty nice, yeah.
Are you drilling holes in all those vials, Hannes, or do they come with that?
You can order them with holes already, but I have the issue that these are made for like tarantula slings, and the holes are like a bit too big in my opinion. So first of all, they dry out faster, which is my main issue, because I can't water like thousands of them every day. Right. Then sometimes fruit flies can get out of these holes, and sometimes really small spiders could get out of these holes too. So there's a guy who 3D printed like a machine for this here in Germany. So you have a machine for drilling holes in these specific vials, but yeah, I did not buy it. I just poke them in with like tweezers, or with when you eat corn, like grilled corn, you have these things you can stick
the little
corn skewers. That's wicked funny.
One of those, and
that's a good idea.
Every time I get a new bag of those vials, I just sit there for like 2 hours and do this. That's probably not very effective and pretty stupid, but
no, that's actually a really good idea. Like that's the perfect size.
Smart as hell, dude. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not what I would have thought. I would have just been like doing cheesecloth and rubber bands or something, dude. And like let's keep it simple. But I'd rather put holes in the lids than have to deal with rubber bands and
no, I don't. Absolutely not. Yeah, I strongly agree. Do you want to talk about some major differences that you've noticed between like what you got going on in Germany and kind of the hobby in the United States?
Yeah, sure. I would say the first thing that comes to mind is that the customer base, or the picture of the customer base is a bit different, because in the US I feel like it's marketed more for the end of the chain, for the pet keeper, So like the prices are a bit higher, and you can buy like kits for everything, and here in Europe it's more like the market is more for breeders, because you often get like private people selling their offspring like in bulks. So if you take like 50, you get cheaper prices, or as I showed you, these specific vials for tarantula keeping, you can just buy them on this website, which has wholesale prices, but you can buy there as a private person. So I think here it's more, the market is more like, or the hobby is more marketed for breeders.
Established. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Breeder
can be
driven.
always the case. I think there are many factors, yeah, because you guys you pay expensive loads for shipping, and you guys are just like one country, and maybe you have Canada, some people in Canada who can ship stuff to you or so, but here in Europe I can easily ship for like 15 euros. I can ship to Poland, I can ship to France, I can ship to Spain, everywhere. So I have more opportunities, because I
That's
can
nuts.
just exchange better with different countries. And yeah, shipping in Germany is like 6 or 7, no pun intended with 6 and 7, but 6 or 7 euros. So yeah, shipping is cheaper here.
That's nuts, dude. What?
Yeah, and I don't know, it's the animals are cheaper here too. Sometimes I don't know why. Sometimes I think it's because we have more breeders on less space, But sometimes I feel like you guys get sadly a bit scammed, because I know some of the species that get, when they appear new species in the US, I often know where they came from and what they are sold for here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wonder what the guy who bought them wholesale paid for them in the US. So sometimes I think it's because greedy money-making people sell for higher prices to you guys, and then you guys of course have to sell for a higher price too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think some of that is mostly like when we talked to Brandon Russell, when he brought in all those, Matagenes and stuff, like he's like, these are expensive because it costs so much just to get them here.
So bring them,
So there's there's a big chunk of that. I think, there's plenty of people I'm sure that are taking advantage of the situation, and I guess if you're having to put the money and time into it, like, rightfully so, you're going to get your investment back, quote unquote. But I also think it's really, with a lot of those newer species, like it's only a matter of time, because one person gets them and breeds them, 2 other people get them and breed them, 4 other people get them and breed, like exponentially, like there's going to be more people doing it, and over time they are going to get to be a reasonable price, unless they're
just takes time.
Classy. Yeah. In that case, they won't. But
well, so Justin, you got to realize it takes close to 20 years for a Classy to molt. So that's kind of yeah.
But you would think because of that maybe more people would be like, let's breed more of these because they take forever.
Not me.
Well,
yeah,
you don't have.
Yeah, I think spiders, so. I feel like breeding is a bit. Breeding is a bit gay. I mean, I'm not from the US. Maybe it's totally wrong or so, but I feel like breeding is a bit gate kept in the US hobby, because I often spoke to people who said, I wish I could get males, or I wish I could pair mine up, but I will leave that for the experts, and I'm not gonna do it. Or some of the big names on YouTube or on other podcasts always say, okay, you have to think about it. You will have to manage all of these links, and you maybe can't sell them, and blah blah blah. And I think many people are scared because of that. And here it's completely otherwise. Like every fucking 15-year-old breeds in his bedroom. So if you have like more than 10 spiders here, it's really high likely that you try to breed them. And in the worst case, you sit on a few slings. But
ironically, I feel like with the gatekeeping aspect is much more prevalent in the reptile side of stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
In inverts, I think it's much more
collaborative,
open source and collaborative, because like there's a lot less people doing like breeding on the spider front than there are reptiles. But I do hate that whole like, you shouldn't breed because you're going to end up with a bunch of babies. And it's like, well, yeah, that's kind of what happens
point.
typically. But then
Yeah.
it's also like the same people saying you shouldn't do that are the same ones breeding
Doing
a
it.
ton of stuff
Yeah.
and selling stuff. And it's like, well, if it's that bad, then why are you doing it? If it's that much of an issue, like I got to call bullshit on that like immediately, because it's like if it's so rough, and it was really prevalent with crested geckos. People be like, don't breed. Like there's so many people breeding, and then you go on their Morph Market page and they've got 300 geckos for sale, and it's like, fuck you, dude. Like shut up. That is, that kind of stuff drives me nuts. It's like I think people should definitely be aware of like what they're signing up for when they do it, and if they're well aware of like what to expect. And I mean, there's being told what's going to happen, and people saying, "Oh yeah, sure," and then there's like once you're actually in it and realizing, "Oh, this is what they were talking about," because like I've been there. It's a different story. Like you have to kind of learn. You have to go through the pain of seeing and experiencing it firsthand before you realize like, oh, okay, yeah, they were kind of right on some of this. But then I think to tell people like, oh, you shouldn't breed because there's already people breeding that species, like curly hairs. Don't breed curly hairs. There's so many curly hairs. Like people buy them.
Dude,
still.
curly hairs sell so well.
There's a reason.
Curly
there's
hairs,
people buying them. Like
people love them.
It's that whole thing is just goofy to me. It's know what you're signing up for, and then if you're good with that, like go for it.
And maybe another thing that comes to mind is that, but I think that's just because of the language. Maybe you guys have common names, and we don't have. I mean, there are common names for, I think, for some Brachypelma or like for the big Pterophosa or so. But these are common names that are like from zoos in the 50s or so. But with most of the stuff, they just get marketed even in like online stores or shops that are more kind of quote unquote beginner stores. They just get labeled under the scientific name, and that's. I think you guys always have, for every tarantula there's like a funky common name.
There's at least 2 common names for it.
Maybe even more.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see common names used so much on like the more serious side of people that are in spiders, but like definitely people that have like it's a pet or it's something that's I've got 1 or 2 of them, and I'm not really like into tarantulas. I have some,
right?
They're cool, like, but the people that are like really in it, like common names, there's half the species that I've kept, like some of them I couldn't even tell you what the common name is, honestly. Like I don't, because I don't even read it. It goes in one ear and out the other. Like it just doesn't register,
And I also have to say I had a lot worse picture of the US hobby some years ago, but since I met you guys in the whole ArachNerds group chat, I put away the stereotypes and could see that they are just normal spider enthusiasts in the US too. But of course, some years before, I was just making fun of the US hobby and just thinking like like it's the little version of our hobby. But I think there are just some.
It kind of is. It kind of is.
Yeah, but it got better over the years, and I think there are many more passionate people. Like what's your friend's name again? The Dritz, I think. That does the stuff that we did here for like decades with just trading males and like building a network. That's the main thing. Yeah, here in Germany.
Collaboration. He's
Germans love to open new clubs for everything, like sport clubs or everything, and everything has to be unionized. So not unionized, but we Germans just love to have like these little clubs where you have presentations and meetings like once a month. And I think that also really helped in the early ages of the spider hobby. I mean, I wasn't in the hobby back then but there are so many. I don't know if club is the right word for it, but they are like, for many reptile genera, there are like own clubs or like group meetings that meet like
societies and things like that.
Society is the right word, and I think that's
the Bambus Society.
Really helpful.
Yeah, I don't. It's I've seeing like the European hobby both on the reptiles and from what I've heard, like the aquaculture and the invert side, like
It's light years better than what we
light
get
years
going on.
better, but it's like, well, what's the reasoning for that? Like, do they have access to better technology? Like,
So
is
yes,
I think there's more emphasis on the setups of a lot of that stuff.
yes, and the stores. Like Hannes will talk about the store that he goes to get all that stuff. You know what I'm talking about, Smitty?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has like hobby stores or whatever for this, for like terrarium building and stuff. Like you can buy, panes of glass and sheets of glass and like really kind of DIY everything. Here it's like, let's go to Home Depot and see what I can figure
Let's
out.
take something that's not made for this and somehow make it to work for it.
Yeah.
It might be that we have some books that are exclusively written in like German or like in French or so, because I think many of the
edition
early
Chimera stuff, man.
Mhm.
And many of the early scientists or early herpetologists or like people who firstly imported stuff, I think those were mainly from Central Europe too. Or they had different species. I think for example, the aquaculture hobby is really old here in Central Europe. I think the first import lists were like from 1800 something, so they really started early. And maybe that's the reason too, that we just had like a historical lacking words here, but like we had I have to look it up. Sorry.
No, do what you gotta do.
From what I've heard with the aquaculture,
like
aquaculture stuff, there's so much better access to like the newest technology as far as that stuff goes.
Yeah.
But no, my feelings been for a while now, like not all, but some of the European hobby, I think, takes things a little too seriously, but then I think the US takes a lot of stuff not seriously enough. So I think that's like, you see the setups that even the Asian hobby, like you see some of the stuff people are posting on Instagram, from Korea and stuff like that. And the setups they have for some of their stuff is just unbelievable. And like how most people would keep it here in the States doesn't even come close to, some of the Omathyma stuff, for example, that we're always
John
sharing.
Spider, dude.
Yeah,
the man
like
himself.
That kind of stuff. Like,
shout out John Spider.
It's kind of like dart frogs in the respect that like all your money for those is going into the setup. Like it's to the point to where the animals are more of the decor and the tank is like the main thing. Like the animals are just kind of the accent piece. And it's like, should we do more of that here? Like it'd be cool, but the problem is I think we'd run into the same sort of and it exists to a degree, I think, as well. But like currently the whole rack versus setup debate thing on snakes is like if we started adopting the way some of those terrariums are set up and stuff that people are using, over there in Asia, then people are going to start saying, well, if you're not keeping like that, it's animal abuse, which it's a bit far. The whole ethical keeping thing is something that gets me kind of heated because the whole thing I feel like is just so subjective. That it's I'd be hesitant for us to be like, okay, this needs to kind of be the new standard, because then it's like, well, then we're going to get a bunch of people telling us that if we're not keeping like that, we're terrible human beings. It's like, and I don't.
There already is that.
We already have a lot of that, and it's like I don't want more. But I think it also kind of depends on the species. Like my hypothesis is in a planted. It's not, I won't say a vivarium, but like a terrarium with moss and everything like that. And it looks really good. And, I feel like, again, that's a species and a genus that I feel like sort of benefits from a
requires that.
It's a curly hair. Like, will it take advantage of something like that and probably like it? Probably. Is it going to be fine with, a piece of cork bark and some substrate? Yeah, it's not really going to care. It just, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the advantage with the ArachNerds. I don't think they really care as long as you as long as you give them enough space and don't like so they can mold, they can. I mean,
do what they gotta do.
You wouldn't keep like some small adult tarantula. You wouldn't keep them in this cup, yeah. You would go bigger. But I think as long as the humidity is right, as long as the basic needs in terms of having some surface they can mold on. Like okay, tarantulas they mold different, but with two spiders they most of the time need to hang at the ceiling and like drop down or to have a piece of cork or so, and that they can hide or burrow if they are burrowing species. So if you manage to do all that and whatever enclosure you like, it's fine, yeah. And the spider wouldn't care if it's glass or plastic, and if it's like planted or is it's just cork. I mean, the plants they do the humidity aspect really fine, and I think also the cleaning when you have like a planted tank and you have springtails in there and isopods, the isopods and springtails they break down the organic matter, and the plants can do the rest of it. Yeah, so that is good, but it's not needed.
Yeah. Is there anything the U.S. does that you wish Europe did?
I really like all the podcasts. Here in Europe, we don't really have any active podcasts on that topic. So we had, I mean, I had a podcast, and I technically still have. It's the Arthro podcast, which is only about arthropods. It's in German, but yeah, as you know, I'm a bit lazy, and I am also busy as a student. Sometimes I'm actually busy, and I kind of stopped recording. But I wish we had like this. The whole community aspect was bigger, because in the US you have these many podcasts and you have many people that found a business out of their hobby, and I think that's really cool. I really like to hear these conversations. For example, I don't know if you know Project Herpetoculture by Philip Leeds and Roy Arthur Black. I mean, Roy not anymore, but I started listening to episode 1 of those, and I really thought, oh man, that's cool. You guys have so many people that just do breeding for a living. And here it's when you go at an expo like Ham, for example, of course there are some tables that do that for a living, but these are usually the really big mass breeders or import-export stuff. And I would say 90% of the table are just some normal guys with a normal job, and they just do it as a hobby. And when I see pictures or videos of like Daytona or some of the other big expos you guys have, it's like every table got its own like website or banner printed, and own shirts and stuff like that. And sometimes that can lead in the wrong direction, I think, but I think it's cool that you have so many guys who can just do it for a living, and it's more supportive. If you say it here in Germany, in my opinion, if you tell your other hobby friends or other hobby guys that you say, I want to do this for a living, it's typical. The normal reaction is not enough money, too much time, you will lose the passion. And it's kind of people just enjoy it here as a hobby, and maybe it's the cultural thing, because you know the American dream, everybody can make it, and the German negativity. But maybe that's the case. But that's the stuff I like about the US hobby, that people are really open and reach out and do the podcasts and do the shows and building businesses. That's cool.
Yeah, it's always going to amaze me that there's people that can do spiders and inverts specifically full time. You know, like Tom Patterson, Tyler at Spider Shop, like having a storefront. You know, the Fear Not people, like the fact that you can do a storefront just in inverts is incredible to me, because I feel like 20-15 years ago that there's no way you would have been able to pull that off. But it's just like the fact that like reptiles, like, that's a feat in itself. But I feel like with inverts specifically for like the
so much newer,
to be able to do it full time is incredible. Like
Yeah, I would
truly
agree.
blows my mind that there's that. I mean, it's not surprising that there's enough people that are buying stuff to sustain a a full-time business like that, but it's like to be able to do it in such a niche market, is just incredible.
Well, inverts also scale much better than reptiles do as well, so something
True.
to keep in mind
True.
too.
Yeah.
I always wonder, like, where are these slings all going? Like, for example, with the Heteropoda, when you sell a couple of hundreds, and you also sell to stores in like wholesale and to private persons, and I wonder how many people are there that buy spiders. And with tarantulas too, there are so many people that breed, and somehow the slings end up somewhere. They don't just go in the bin, I am always amazed by that, because in my when I was in school, I was of course the only one in my whole school, I think, who had spiders at home, and there have to be some more of us here in Germany. I don't know.
What about is there anything you see going on in like the Asian hobby that you kind of wish both US and Europe did more of?
Centipedes and the whole scaling thing. Yeah, the Asians, they don't like fuck around and try. They just
they just succeed. It's insane.
And I think the stuff we are seeing online from the Asian hobby mainly is from, I would say, wealthy people in Korea, and some others too. But I think the stuff we are talking about right now and the pictures we have in mind, these are from the Koreans that have like a whole hall or several rooms just stacked.
A peed room, dude. We're just peds on peds, dude.
Yeah, that's so crazy. And I think there goes a lot of money in these stuff, because they just can say, okay, I don't buy like 5 and hope for a breeding group. I just buy 50, and there will be females that are gravid, and then I can build my offspring on it. So I think the stuff we see, or the stuff I see online from the really big Asian collections, they have this advantage of just having the capital they can put into. But I generally like all the cool species they have in Asia. They have
they have all the gas.
And they just, I don't know, they just know so much about the animal that they still manage to successfully breed and raise them, even if they don't really have substrate all over the floor of the box. Yeah, these scorpion picks in these like fishing tackle boxes where there's 3 grains of sand in one slot, and I think, it's a horrible condition, but they still manage to captive breed all these cool scorpions.
Work, right?
I have a friend, you might know him from Instagram, Clemens from Ectotherm Aesthetics.
Yeah, the goat.
And he managed to breed several Solifuge species.
Oh, really?
And the first persons who could give him advice were some, I think, Japanese or Korean dudes that wrote something on ArachNerds like in 2009 or so.
Yeah, of course. Some
guys
on a different level, just balling.
Just machines.
Yeah.
I know Chris Paintshab, who I did the Cornstar show with for a while, like when he was breeding gargoyles and stuff pretty heavily, like he'd have Koreans buy entire year's worth of production. Like, how many babies do you have? Okay, cool. We'll take them all and just
pay up front
money.
Dude,
they ball out, dude.
At the Ham show, sometimes you can see some Korean guys walking around like with walkie-talkies and say, okay, I see that many snakes on here, and at the end of the show they just buy everything that's and just they have some import-export licenses, and even in Weinstadt, this is like a spider only expo, and it's in southern Germany, like in a nice little village in the mountains where they breed the vine. And there are dudes that fly in from Korea to this little small southern German village to just buy tarantulas and export them back to Korea. And that's crazy. Yeah, they are just really, really passionate. They do the steps that we don't do.
They're built different, dude. We're just, we don't got that dog in us.
Yeah, Phil Wilson talked about at Daytona, like some either Japanese or Chinese or maybe Korean they just walk Daytona and they'd have, fanny packs full of cash. They'd look at a table and say, we'll take it all. Give you a freaking wad of cash right there on the spot. Like it was nothing. Just crazy.
What a time to be alive, boys.
And I always wonder about, because we see that and we see the cool collections and we think, oh, they have it all. What do they need from us? But at the other hand, I often get messages from some Korean or Japanese dudes that see some of the stuff we have here in Germany and breed, and they ask me about if I export to their countries, and somehow there has to be some win in for them. So maybe they are just they are not these big facilities yet in Korea that they all need to buy ball pythons in US. So I don't know.
Yeah, the ball python craze is
it's definitely over there.
Worthy of study.
Mm-hmm.
But even on like the venomous snake front though, like Europe, dude, there's some stuff you don't see over here happening, like breeding wise, man. There's just, again, light years ahead of the States with a lot of those venomous species. It's really cool.
And I have to say, I'm not really much into snakes, but I have some friends that are into snakes, and all the stuff I've seen in person yet, like in terms of personal connections with venomous snakes, these were always the top-notch enclosures, like really beautiful, planted, and really like mimicking the habitat. And there's one guy on Instagram who has some nice Vipera species, like from the Caucasus Mountains. I think it's Vipera Krasnakovi.
Oh my god, dude.
And he has really these enclosures. They look like a piece out of nature, and I think that's the stuff I often see from some of the American guys. I don't want to judge, and I think you can raise a snake like in a tub or in a terrarium, fine, either way. But I often see like the venomous stuff on the internet from the US. It's just like a plastic hide, some bark on the ground, and like a water bowl, and that's it. I mean, the snake's got its humidity and the temperature, but in my opinion, it would be boring to look at an enclosure if the snake just lays around in the spot and has one hiding spot. I would think that you get the whole behavior and fun out of the animal if you see it like move naturally. And I also think that could be a good reason why they breed better, because they just feel more like they can do more and feel more natural. But again, I'm not a snake guy, so maybe I'm completely wrong.
It completely depends on the species. Like, your super active stuff, like your mambas and your cobras and your lapids and things like that. Like, for sure, keeping. I don't know anybody that does or has kept mambas in like a rec system, but
it seems dangerous.
It seems like bad news. So everyone that I know that's kept mambas, like they keep them in like setups with even if they're not decked out, they've still got a lot of climbing and
space,
stuff like that. So, but like gaboon vipers and bittis and stuff like that, like
they don't really.
I don't know that many people that keep them in bigger setups, because they just sit there, like that's their existence. They're like blood pythons; they just don't move. Phil would know.
Yep, got a couple of those in the other room. You want to talk about some scorpions that you work with?
Oh yeah. Not as much as some years ago anymore. I just have some Scorpiinae right now. So these are my favorite subfamily of scorpions. These are European scorpions, and they are, to the normal scorpion keeper, I would say many people think that they are boring here in Europe, because they are like this small, and all the species are just different shades of brown.
Nice.
But I really, really enjoy them, and I did some taxonomic investigations with some species for a museum some years ago, and I just like reading all the papers on the new descriptions. And I have one of my best friends in the hobby. We met because we talked about some Alpiscorpius, and he's like the only guy I know that can nerd out as much on these little boring small scorpions as I am. And on every different mountain in southern Europe, we have a different species of Euscorpius, and in every different cave there's another species. And I just really like them, and they have still, I think, around like 7 or 8 species of them right now. At top times, I had like 25 different species of those.
Oh wow. Okay.
I did also keep different families and other scorpions in the past, like the big Ioride, Iurus decanum, which is Europe's biggest scorpion species. It's a big. They look a little bit like you would mix some flat rock scorpions with some Hadrurus. They are like a bit flatter, but they are really cool. I had some of those. I had some different Asian ones like Kerillus or Kerillus. Yeah,
Those are cool.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. I had different species of those and bred those. Right now I have Scorpiops. I think these are Scorpiops citadel. These Asian flat scorpions with the long arms. They are pretty cool. Yeah, I usually like the smaller, humid, oddball stuff with scorpions. I'm not big into the arid stuff because most of the arid stuff that is in the hobby are Butide. And in my state where I live, there was a law in 2020 that nearly forbids to keep and breed everything from Parabutus over Butus to Androctonus and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not allowed to keep those anymore here. So yeah, I focused on the stuff that is allowed and that doesn't need too much heat, and yeah, mainly European stuff, but I kept different humid Butide too, like Luchas or Babicurus, stuff like that, yeah.
Which species of Babicurus?
Only Jacksoni.
Okay.
They were pretty rare for some years here. I know that the time when I was still too small and didn't care about scorpions, they were pretty common. And back then you could get imports from Tanzania and so on for cheap. And then they got cut off, which is probably a good thing because we don't want to destroy wildlife anymore there. And then Jacksoni got rare. Then Jacksoni appeared again, and just like this year, or no, I think last year, Gigas appeared again. Babicurus gigas and some other Babicurus species. Yeah, these are pretty cool. One of my favorite Butide genera, I would say.
Yeah, they used to be, Jacksoni especially used to be pretty prevalent, and now like I think I've seen one listing for some for sale, and even then I don't think it was that many. Like there was only a couple animals. Like they used to be all over the place, and then now you just can't find them. Like I'm sure there's people that have do have some and are working with them, but in terms of like availability, man, they're gone.
Yeah.
For both
I really like scorpions, and I stopped a bit from spider breeding and got into scorpions because the numbers were much more manageable.
Yeah.
Like with these Scorpios, I mean, I had in good summers, I had like 30 to 40 different clutches of Scorpios, but these were just like from anything from 15 to 40 babies, and you can keep the most of the stuff in groups for a little while. So that was much more manageable, and now the Scorpions got a bit in the background because all the European stuff does hibernating, and they only drop like once a year, and I kind of wanted to get into spiders again, and you see how it went.
Here we are.
Full on back into spiders again. But I think in the future when I move out and have more space, I want to do some enclosures like you did, Justin, with like one heated big enclosure where you put in the smaller ones, and I want to get some Scorps again, maybe some Orthocurus, like the small round ones. I had the Orthocurus inesi back in the day, but there are some more species now in the hobby, I believe, even some yellowish ones. They are pretty cool. I don't know if you know them, Phil, but they look like a marble. They are just like this big and completely fat and round. And
that's over my head, dude. That's above my pay grade. I don't.
He's not a scorpion guy.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
They are pretty cool, and maybe some Heteroctenus. I don't know if you get anything more than Junceus or the Cuban red
There's like I think
Couldn't tell you.
there's like 2
Princeps.
or 3 species off the top of my head that I think I've
Princeps
seen.
and Princeps and Garriodoi. I don't know, something with G. And those are pretty cool. They appeared here in the German hobby, and I know the guy who exported them to the US. So I really like those not so really prominent Botide, you know.
Yeah.
And I love the look of Parabutus and Androctonus, really cool, but I like the not really completely desert stuff, more like the shrubland stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean Phil and Dritz had a bicolor, recently, and they were wanting to send it to me, and I can't get it hot enough. Like I could, but then my entire room would be warmer as a result, and it's like to do it for a single scorpion,
one.
it's just kind of, but I'm sure like once I got a heat panel in that cabinet setup I'm rocking now, like maybe it would be different, but even then it's still, we're talking like mid 80s. Like it's
I don't
not
even know if
that
that's-
hot.
Yeah.
It's warm, but it's not,
It's not hot
talking about
enough.
an animal that's on like the
The
surface.
90s.
Just
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can keep them that way, but breeding is not possible if it's not hot enough.
Yeah. I've kept them at room temperature, and they just, I don't know. I don't.
It's
They
not the
don't
same.
really.
They just
too
do
great,
okay. Yeah, they don't. They don't do great.
But once you see how they act like in the right temperature, then you know, okay, it's not so fun in room temperature.
Yeah,
And that's why I swifted to the humid stuff. That's I
Yeah.
think the arid stuff does look cooler most of the time, but
gotta be hot.
yeah.
You are kind of the Centroidus guy, right, Justin?
Yes.
Those are
Love
cool.
me some Centroides.
They are forbidden here too, and when I
Are
got
they
into the
really?
just in my state, because the stupid law. But 1 year before this law came in 2019, I wanted to really get into Titius and Centroides, and because I really, they are just cool, and there are so many species, and they kind of, some of them are arboreal and humid, and they just cool, look so slender. And because they are forbidden, I shifted into the European stuff. And I think if there was not such thing as this law, I maybe would be just fully into all the South American scorpions today.
So it's
Wow.
like Boothid's period are off the table.
No, they are just some Boothids, not all. Like I think 20 genera, and some are Boothids, some are stuff like Nebo or Hemiscorpius. So other everything that pops up if you Google venomous scorpions. Yeah, this list was made by people who don't know anything, and there are even some tarantulas on that list, like Pizziloteria.
All the Pacillotheria were on that list.
Pizziloteria. Haplopelma, I think, but people don't care because everything that was
kind of worked out.
Is
So taxonomy saves the day is when they
boom roasted.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't really know of any cases where somebody got checked with their collection, because
right.
How should people know? How should the government know that you keep spiders in your basement? And as if the guy who gets sent there to control your stuff, as if he would know if that's an Haplopelma or an Omotumos or something else.
Right.
But I want to keep it legal here because I have an Instagram account, and I sell stuff online, so I just want to be out of trouble. And back in the day, I even had Phoneutria and Latrodectus and all that stuff, but I don't keep that anymore. The fun thing is, there are some states in Germany that where Scolopendra or all centipedes are completely forbidden, but you can have like every scorpion and every spider. But here everything is forbidden, but centipedes are fully not into that law. They just don't fit in, so I can get all the peds I want.
Get more peds.
Ped it up.
Ped up.
Pedestrian. So there was something Noah had mentioned.
Is it
the learning strategies?
Yeah. What do you know about that, Hannes? You know anything about learning strategies in
With spiders? Not much.
arachnids?
I have a good friend who works or who worked with jumping spiders, and they did vision things on jumping spiders, and her supervisor was the one that found out that or had the thesis that jumping spiders can dream. But I'm not really into that kind of behavior studies, so unfortunately I can't tell you much about it. I mean, I have some personal experience with stuff we talked about at the beginning of this recording, like Cupinius, for example. They just hang out at the front door when they start to know you open it for food. So with all Cupinius I ever had, didn't matter if Gitasi, Coquineos, Zalai, with every specimen I kept in a terrarium, I had like planted terrariums with cork and everything, and they could hide, but they chilled the whole day, even in bright light, at the front door, because at some point they figured out that was the spot where I just opened it and dropped the food in. And yeah, there are some studies with spiders that build their nets on bridges with traffic lights, because there are many moths in it. And yeah, that's the stuff that comes in my mind when we talk about learning behavior with arachnids, that they just know where the best spot for food is. And I have the feeling that with most of the true spiders, not jumping spiders, because jumping spiders are the smartest arachnids, but with most of the true spiders, they just don't differ so much from individual to individual, in my experience. With tarantulas, you often have like one individual is like more aggressive, one is more chill, and so on. And I think like all the mygalomorph stuff, or at least tarantulas, there's a bit more in there, you know?
Yeah,
Because
I
they
also
can
noticed that
differ.
with centipedes too. I feel like centipedes are way more individual as well.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Like quote unquote personalities. I know that No also kind of pasted an abstract here about a study about wolf spiders, the Schizocosa avida, demonstrating associative learning in response to a previous encounter with a predator. So individuals of this species that have survived a scorpion attack by leg autonomy, they learn to avoid scorpion-scented substrates as a result of, I'm going to assume, a terrifying experience.
That is interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't
the
know that.
abstract is in the. I didn't either, but you know how Noah is. He just knows, you know. So he posted some good stuff in that little document that I sent you, which was pretty cool, because I wasn't aware of spider learning as well until I joined TA, because it makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean they're
Yeah.
animals, and they gotta do something to stay alive. So
Yeah, they have to respond to stimuli in some way. So I would agree. You know, it makes sense.
and
Do you want me to read the abstract?
Oh, Smitty, yes. Use your velvety
Okay.
voice to read the
I don't
abstract.
have a velvety voice. I sound like I'm 12. The wolf spider. Let me zoom in on this real quick, because my eyes,
geriatric.
buddy, is bad. 200%. The wolf spider, Schizocosa avida, can utilize leg autonomy to successfully avoid capture by the scorpion Centroroides vittatus. Leg autonomy was used successfully in 7 out of 43 encounters with a scorpion, 16%. Spiders were captured and eaten by scorpions in 79% of the encounters. 2 spiders, 5%, escaped capture by means other than leg autonomy. Scorpions most often grasped spiders by the abdomen, 49%, followed by the cephalothorax, 35%, and legs, 16%. Naive spiders, no previous experience with a scorpion with intact leg or an automized leg, spent significantly more time, 26 to 32 minutes out of a 60-minute trial, on a filter paper disc that had come into previous contact with a scorpion, as compared to spiders that had lost a leg in a successful escape from an encounter with a predator, 10 minutes. This is an example of associative avoidance learning and is the first demonstration of this type of learning in response to previous experience with a predator in spiders.
Pretty groundbreaking.
Pretty cool, yeah. From
Thanks to
when
No
is
for
that?
providing that.
What was the question?
Yeah, how many years ago was that? Or is it pretty new?
I think it's older.
I don't know how new that is.
But yeah,
See
pretty cool.
if I can look it up.
Did not know about that. It is yeah, of course it makes sense with the chemical recognition, but yeah, pretty cool. I think I'm gonna have a read after this.
Ooh, have a read. Interesting.
And I think there's one more example of I don't know if it falls under learning, but there are some spiders that live in bromeliads, like Cupinius, the bromeliad wandering spiders, and some of the Avicularia, so some Caribena and Avicularia, and they can, if they sense a danger, they just dive into the water body of the bromeliad and stay underwater for a couple of times, but somehow they must know, okay, I can escape underwater and the predator won't see me or won't get me in the water. So that is pretty interesting.
Pretty metal.
This is looking like maybe it was 1997.
Okay.
It's not that bad.
I'm sure there are super cool papers about some jumping spider learning stuff, because
yeah, Sharpie would know, dude.
Yeah, there are some people that really are into that, but because I'm not a huge jumping spider fan, I always push it away.
Yeah, gloss over it. Smitty, you look so confused.
There's some other stuff popping up about jumping spiders learning stuff too, and I do a Google search, so I'm just
Hannes, can you talk a little bit about mycosis in centipedes and mycosis in scorpions, if you've had to deal with that?
I gladly never had to deal with that in Pete's.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard to deal with. Just like putting that out there.
But with the scorpions, I don't know if it was mycosis. Sometimes I mainly deal with captive bred animals that are traded with some friends, so they come out of good condition. And with white cords, with the European stuff, they mostly only have mites, or some weird kind of fungi that can happen if you keep them too moist. And I think they were infected before, but they just have this weird growing mold on them. But mycosis was never an issue in my care, so I don't have experience with that. But at the start, we talked about nematodes. And what I think is interesting is in tarantulas, nematodes are always like many small little nematodes. And in true spiders, it's always like one big ass, like horseworm, or how you call them. There are videos of praying mantids having those.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and I only had those in some wild-caught true spiders yet. And yeah, these are they are disgusting. I mean, I really am interested in every fucking invert, but nematodes are.
Yeah, they
not
give you
one
the
of them.
heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you had something like that in tarantulas or scorpions before, but I could observe a really kind of weird parasite. I think it's a parasite in true spiders, in wild-caught true spiders, where spiders would just amputate their own legs without reason, or eat their own legs. And I saw this in different genera and different families. And my guess is that it's some kind of parasite that uses the spider as a middle host and wants to get into a bird or a reptile. And with the spider cutting off its own legs, it gets slower and easier to catch. So a bird can catch the spider easier, and then the parasite gets into his wanted main host. And I never heard about that in tarantulas, but I saw it in a couple of true spiders yet, and it's really weird. They don't really eat, they act weird, and then on the next morning they have one less leg and they're eating their own legs, and sometimes it goes to the point where they only have two legs again. And there are similar parasites or bacteria that can cause stuff like this, not like with eating the legs, but there are some kind of parasites that do that to other hosts to get into the main host. There's some kind of bacteria or parasite that infects tadpoles, so the frogs grow more legs, so they have like 5 or 6 legs, so they can't jump away, they're just slopping around, and then some birds come and eat the frog, and the parasite can get into its goal host. And I think that's the case with these type of spider parasite, but I never read anything about it. This is just from stuff I saw.
That's crazy, dude. I'll have to ask Noah if he has any, or if he can find any literature regarding that, because that's wild.
That would be interesting. Yeah,
that
the
is
only
super interesting.
This and like 2 or 3 cases of these big nematodes. These were the only parasites I had to deal with.
Wow.
I mean, occasionally you get mites and scorpions, but just keep them a bit more dry and the mites will go away. And usually the mites are like not taking over. The mites are just cleaning the rest of
the scorpion.
So
yeah.
That's
I've got when I went to Hamburg in Pennsylvania, I picked up a couple yellow-legged Dahanis, hoping that they were dudes, and obviously they were all female because that's the type of luck that a guy like me has. But everyone one of them does have. Yeah, everyone has their bambus. One of them has some mycosis near its butt. So I just keep that enclosure a little bit more dry. Yeah, Justin's got butt mycosis, everyone. I just keep that enclosure a little bit more dry. I've been giving it some cat food, and she's been sucking down that cat food like no problem.
Do you think it's gonna mold out? So if it's molds,
I mean, it should. I talked to some people that know way more about centipedes than I do, which is quite literally everyone. But I talked to some select people that really know what the word is, and they were like, "Yeah, it should be all good." Fingers and toes crossed.
I definitely wanna see more captive bred centipedes. Yeah, it's getting better, but it's still.
I'm trying, man. They don't want to bang like tarantulas, dude. They're mad weird. These women, man.
They mate so early. I got that information from a friend of mine. I can link you his profile later, but he is a total nature nerd. He knows everything, and he told me that most of the centipedes, or especially like stuff like Itmostigmos, they mate when they are like half the size when they're adult. Like they mate really, really early, and then they don't mate again. So they just mate like once in life really early, and then they, of course, don't want to mate and eat the males or so. And yeah,
you call that monogamy.
Yeah, sometimes they are paired pretty early and just drop the eggs years later.
That's wild. That's wild. That's banana land. I'm also a little. After what happened with Michael Sarah, I'm a little hesitant to pair my smaller males to any of the gargantuan women that live in the other room in this house, because they're straight up women, man. They're, my God, they're like beached whales.
I'm still amazed that there was just nothing left.
I saw a couple feet, maybe part of an antenna, but yeah, dude, nothing left.
That's crazy.
No
yeah,
survivors.
It is crazy, dude. She's thicker than a bowl of oatmeal now, so maybe she'll drop some plings, bro. Hopefully she was paired back in the day, and she's like, "Oh, some cat food and Michael Sarah. Maybe I'll drop some fucking plings for that."
I'm good.
Hairless chimp.
Just close the box, make sure it's humid enough, and forget about it for like 1.5 months, and then you look in there and she's on eggs. Centipedes are
looking for another male to eat.
She's tricking you into throwing in another male. She's figured it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna cool her. I'm gonna give her some time off. I was talking to someone else, and he said that he would use that centipede that ate the males for fishing bait because he doesn't work with women who eat boys anymore. And I was like, that's hilarious. 2, this is the first ever centipede I got from Tom Patterson, so I won't be throwing her away. She's special. She's demonic and ginormous, and if she stands up, dude, she can look over the side of the 20-quart tub. A Dahani, dude. She's like this.
Not bad.
Yeah, she's a woman.
She ready. No one will survive this bloodlust.
No, literally.
All right. Well, we're at about just under 2.5 hours. Was there anything else you wanted to get into?
I don't know if we have anything on the list. I hope this wasn't too like general, because we didn't took a deep dive into some topic, just talked about general stuff or so. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's always room for round 2, dude. We could always get you on again, you know.
And if any of the listeners, if you have any more detailed question about some how to keep or to breed different genera or species or so, feel free to hit me up. If you thought we just talked to general about something,
I'll be
hit me
picking your
up for
brain
the
about Lunula.
What?
The best thing is Hans will send you a voice message, a detailed voice message. So you'll be waking up in the morning to like a 95-second, like beautiful, like voice message in his accent. And you're just like drinking your coffee, listening to Hannes, just like, you know, drop facts, drop knowledge, go off. And it's, yeah. So hit up Hannes, hit him up.
How do people do that? What's the best way to contact you?
I would
Smoke
say
signal.
I would say Instagram. It's at der_Spinner. It's a German play of words, because a Spinner is a crazy person, and Spinne is spider. So yeah, it's like crazy for spiders, if you want to lay it out like that. Yeah, so the Instagram is the best way. Just shoot me a direct message, and I will probably answer in the next day or so.
Yeah,
And if
he's
you're
on the other
based
side of the world, so time zones are
Drinking beer, you know, you gotta, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, today is break. Yesterday's Christmas party was it got a bit late, and tomorrow we have like a ex-school meeting. All the pupils from my former school meet up in the local bar. Yeah. So today is
we
the
call those
resting.
class reunions here, and they're
Yes,
terrible.
yeah, class reunions.
I don't go to any of mine. It's like I didn't like any of you people when I was there. What
Yeah.
makes you think I want to hang out with you now? Like,
I'm good with that. I'm
Yeah.
good with that. But
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing it, Hannes.
I live in a small town though, so like I usually see at least someone I went to school with when I go to Walmart or the grocery store. Like it's dumb. It's like we all live right next to each other all the time. Like, why do we need to have a reunion? I literally saw you last weekend. It's dumb. But yeah, this episode was brought to you by Fulvius Apparel. FulviusApparel.com. Buy 2 get 1 free now for another like week plus. Take advantage. Load up on shirts, hats, mugs, all that good stuff. Join the Tarantula Addicts Discord. The link in the description below, or go to discord.gg/TA. Or if you want to just make it easy, you can hit me or Phil up, and we'll send you the link. And then check out Moltly, the awesome record keeping app that is continuously impressive with the amount of stuff that it's doing. And it's
shout out Ox Gingy.
That's right. So join the Discord. Better than Facebook. Cooler people. Cooler information. And it doesn't suck. So
yeah.
Most importantly, it doesn't suck. We'll see everybody. I think Monday we're doing our last show for the network of the year.
Yeah.
Announcing our person of the year. So that's cool. Tune into that. I believe that's going to be 8:00 on Monday.
EST.
So tune in. Otherwise, we will see y'all later.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.